Yo, man, what it is and what it ain't, man. It's your boy BL Ratchet, man, back again. We Are Florida Podcast, presented by Miss One Essentials, man. We got special guests in the building.
What's going on, y'all? Jerrell Grimes.
For sure, man.
Yes,
so,
sir.
like, how you doing today?
I'm doing good, man. Having a good day, bro.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
That's what's up, man. So, like, where you from?
I'm from Newport, Rhode Island, bro.
Okay. So, I don't know about Newport, but I heard of Rhode Island. I know it's real small. So, how it was, some people would be like, I grew up in a small city, but you grew up in a small state.
Yeah. Something, actually, as I've gotten older, I've appreciated it more. You know what I'm saying? When I was younger, I think I was always focused on, like, trying to get up and go somewhere, you know what I'm saying? Like, move away. But now that I've moved away, I can appreciate, you know what I'm saying, where I grew up.
Back home.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, like, I know they say it's like 30-some miles long or 50-some miles long, however, but, like, that's like around here, we are damn near know everybody, you feel me?
Yeah.
So, like, do you know everybody back home, like, growing up?
Mostly, yeah. The community that I grew up in, Newport, I pretty much knew everybody. You know what I'm saying? We went to the same schools. We went to from kindergarten all the way to graduating high school.
Okay.
You know, some of us went to the same colleges. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
So, how was that? How was it, well, first, how far are y'all from the capital, Providence?
Really depends on how fast you drive, to be honest with you, but about 45 minutes to an hour.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how was the music scene there growing up? Like, is it a music scene there?
You know what? There is. You'd be surprised. There's a lot of talent in Rhode Island, from Newport all the way through really the whole state. A lot of talent. I think it's because it's so small. People don't really notice us as much. You know what I'm saying? And most people associate us with being from New York. So usually when I say Rhode Island, they're like, "Oh, New York." You know what I'm saying? So it's like we don't really get like our own identity in music, I would say, my opinion.
For sure.
Yeah.
Especially because, some people might be from Rhode Island, but they might venture off to New York, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Probably go to, saying they from New York.
Exactly.
Something like that there. So, like, what did you grow up listening to?
You know what? I grew up listening to a lot of different type of music. I grew up listening to R&B, gospel, rap, some pop music, little country, all different types of genres of music I've listened to or grew up listening to. Yeah.
Okay. So
mainly gospel, though, to be honest with you.
I was just about to say, gospel, what's your, you know what I'm saying, what's like a, what the gospel back in the day is different from the gospel now.
Really?
So, like, what kind of gospel did you grow up listening to? What's some of the artists?
You know something? We grew up listening to, like, Kirk Franklin, like early Kirk Franklin.
Early Kirk, yeah.
Yeah. Fred Hammond, same thing.
Yeah.
Yolanda Adams, like early Yolanda Adams, like her first, second, and third album.
BB and CC?
What's that?
BB and CC Wines?
Man, oh yeah. My mom, like, she loved them. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it's a lot. It's like the old gospel kind of reminds me of like the old R&B.
Yeah.
It's like it was soul to it.
Exactly.
It was a feeling to it.
Yeah.
You kind of like felt it. Like when you walked in church and they went to sing, you kind of feel it in your, you know what I'm saying, through your
sure.
soul.
For sure.
So, like, did you grow up in church?
I did. You know something? I've always explained it like I grew up differently. Like I grew up on one side of my family, it was like Baptist and Pentecostal.
Okay.
That's on my mom's side. On my dad's side, it's Jehovah's Witness. Yeah. So I've had a very interesting experience. With religion.
That's different. That's different. But I know it's a lot of people that probably had to grow up and experiencing both, things like that. But, like, I got to ask, like, who was kind of forcing it on you more, though, the religion? Like, Jehovah's Witnesses or, Baptist and Pentecostal?
You know what? Honestly, I think it's both, honestly. When I went to Boston, I'm the only child on my dad's side. My dad had one kid. My mom has three. I'm the oldest of three on my mom's side. So when I went to Boston, Massachusetts, we went to the Kingdom Hall every Sunday. And when I was there, that's what it was. Bible studies, sometimes they would happen at the house and stuff like that. Like, it was mandatory, what we had to do, what I had to do. And then when I went home, it wasn't much different. It was just a different style, if you would, of religion. You know what I'm saying? So Sunday was still going to church, still getting up. It's just the beliefs were kind of clashing. So, yeah.
So do you still go to church?
No.
No? So what's the most, well, I got to ask this first. What was the reason you stopped going to church?
You know, I think it was the clashing.
The clashing.
It was too much for me to try to like. I felt like, I don't know, I always felt like spiritually I had a different identity than most people, and growing up in that, like a conflicting, and I literally had to make a choice. I remember my mom literally made me make a choice one time, and so I couldn't like go back to the Kingdom Hall anymore after a while. So it was just like a lot of, and I'm a kid, you know what I mean? So I grew up like that, and then I have like a lot of different spiritual experiences and stuff. So as I've gotten older, I'm like, I don't feel like I need like religion to identify spiritually. Like, it doesn't really fit me personally.
Yeah, and a lot of people, in our society now, in our generation now, we all kind of think that same kind of way. Because, back then, it was like, you was like forced to go to church every Sunday. You know what I'm saying? You learning about the Holy Ghost, you learning about this, you learning about that, you learning about so many things all at once, you know what I'm saying? Well, it kind of like scared a lot of people, you know what I'm saying? Or it makes them want to go experience the same stuff that they telling you not to go experience or stuff like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
For sure. So, like, was you involved in the church, though? Like, was you in the choir? Was you an usher?
Man, heavy, man. I grew up, when I was younger, we was in Sunday school. And then as I got older, I became a youth minister. I did, like, the audio in the back. You know what I'm saying? I did children's church, like, yeah, heavy.
You was a praise worshiper?
You know something? I wanted to. I really did.
That's what everybody little dream is
so
at the
bad.
beginning.
I remember I auditioned one time and they were like, you got the but you need to work on it. And I was like, man.
Was y'all minding in y'all church and all?
What happened?
You
know something? We did, and it was interesting. There's one gentleman that used to do it. He's actually one of my good friends' father. He had passed away years ago, but yeah, he used to always, and he was amazing. Like, we look forward to that on a Sunday.
See, that's what I'm saying. So certain stuff like that, like you just said, I used to look forward to too. Like, everything else though used to be like a hit and miss. You feel me? But that praise worship and that, like, minding and stuff, that's kind of different.
Yeah, man.
Me? For sure. So what age did you, start to want to make your own music and, venture off into the music world?
You know something?
Or what got you started for real?
Again?
What got you started for real? What age? And what got you started?
Well, I'm a writer, for starters.
Okay.
So I started with writing. That was kind of my entry to music, was really like writing poetry and writing books and stuff. And then I was like, I've always had this knack for music. I've always loved music and different styles of music, like I said. And so I think maybe around like 2013, 14, it really started like clicking like musically. I had published books in like 2009, so I started publishing, putting my work out and stuff like that way. But like I said, around that time frame, I just was like, man, I want to kind of like see what I can do to a beat. You know what I mean? Like, I can do poetry, I can do spoken word. I was writing, like I said, just writing. And so I started listening to beats, like writing, and I'm just trying to catch like the rhythm, you know what I mean? And so at first, when I first started rapping, it was very like monotone and just like, you could hear it. I'm like trying to catch the beat, you know what I mean? And then over time, I just kept training myself to like get creative with my flow, the sound, and stuff like that. So I would say around like 2013, 2014.
Okay. So how did you know when you kind of like got comfortable with yourself and your flow and everything?
When I started putting my music out and people were responding to it, like then I started feeling like, because at first people were just kind of like, oh, and I thought it was dope, you know what I mean? But it really wasn't what I would have. Even now when I listen to it, I'm like, man, I don't even know what I was on, you know what I mean?
It's different.
But as I've gotten older and I've spent more time, I think that's really what it is too. I've actually spent more time crafting my music. So I've been in the studio for years now, just kind of like working on experimenting with different sounds, different productions, different genres. So I think that, just actually practicing it and really building.
Okay, for sure.
Yeah.
So what brought you down here to, like to Florida, and jump into our music scene and everything, like what we got going on and stuff, like,
Ooh, well, when I first moved down here, I was married at the time.
Okay.
And that quickly ended. I moved here in September 2013, and by like Thanksgiving, it was over. before Thanksgiving.
Hold on. So you moved down here September, and by Thanksgiving it was over?
Yes, sir.
And then you was left out here all on your own
by myself,
like to fend for everything you got going on?
Literally though, like I came
kids
home.
Was involved?
What happened?
Was kids involved? Like did
you
have kids?
Thank God, no. No kids. I came home and it was just like a trash bag in the middle of the living room with my laptop, and literally all the stuff off the walls. There's no dishes. There's no furniture. Like gone. So I was like, oh wow, you know what I'm saying? I stayed in a hotel on Fletcher. I'll never forget it. It was like Days Inn, and I stayed there. And the next day, I'm like, what am I gonna do, man? Like, I'm in this big city. I would never like I said, I grew up in Newport, Rhode Island.
Yeah, small. It's like different.
Yeah, that's like like Newport is like a neighborhood compared to like a neighborhood in Tampa. You know what I mean? So I was like, oh, what am I gonna do, bro? And so I ended up calling. I'll never forget. I ended up calling my cousin. She lived in Atlanta, and her husband paid for me to come out. My uncle gave them the money. It was crazy, man. And then I was out there. They're like, you should stay out in Atlanta. You should stay out here. And I'm like, no, man. Like, I don't know why, but I got to go back to Tampa. They're like, why? You don't know nobody there. You don't. Why you gonna go? I'm like, I don't know. And at the time, it was weird. When I lived in Rhode Island, one of my mentors, he went to school. He went to college up there. He's from New York, but I ended up going to school in Rhode Island, and he ended up being my mentor when I was in high school. And come to find out, he actually lived in Tampa. And it was the weirdest thing. So he ended up getting me an apartment literally right next door to him. And so he was like, man, if you want to come back, you know what I'm saying, I can get you an apartment. I'm like, I'm going to go. And I just came back, and I've been here ever since.
Okay. I ain't gonna lie, that's dope. So, like, since you been here on the scene, has you tapped in with, like, any DJs to kind of, you know what I'm saying, show your music to, going on the music scene, like, performing your music at the local clubs and stuff like that?
You know what? When I first started performing, when I first came back to Tampa, you know what I'm saying, it was rough. I'm not even gonna lie. So I spent a lot of time really like hustling, like trying to stay afloat, really.
Okay.
So I would like pop in and out, you know what I'm saying? So I know, like I said, I have a relationship with studio engineers, stuff like that. So I was always behind the scenes doing things, but like never, I feel like as consistent as I should have been. So I know I did like a performance years ago, like in Ybor. They had like this club you could perform and like sell tickets and stuff. So I've been on stage and stuff like that. But like as an artist, personally, I feel like I can do more. I can do better.
Okay.
But like I said, I've just been focused on surviving. You know what I'm saying? So I do music on the side. I'm like, one day I'm gonna get there. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna pop out. You know what I'm saying? But I've like seen people throughout the years like going to different events they got going on in Tampa, trying to show my face. You know what I'm saying? But, like, I was homeless out here, for real. Like, outside homeless, you know what I'm saying? So I've been just trying to, like, focus on that with this mindset of, like, I'm going to get it. Because I see it all around me. I know I can get to it, you know what I'm saying? It's different up north. It's not the same, you know what I'm saying? So being out here, I'm like, no matter what, I know I can get it because it's here, you know what I'm saying?
For sure.
Yeah.
So, like, speaking on what you just saying, you being homeless, bro, like, what kind of gave you the drive to, like, let me get back out. I need to, you know, get my stuff together and stuff like that. Like, what gave you that drive?
Honestly, the city, bro. Seriously, just like, I just feel like the city is like such a beautiful place. Like, it's always something happening. It's always something moving. It's always something to do. Like, there's always a way out, I feel like. And I'm not really sure, but maybe because I'm not from here, it's different. But I just feel like no matter what, like, I can get up and do something, you know what I'm saying? So I just kept that movement. Like, I'm gonna get it. And I had moments where it's like, I had my apartment, I had a car, but then it was just like, all right, well, I want to build a business too. So I'm kind of like, how am I gonna do this? And you know what I'm saying? So it's just a lot of like hustling, but that's what I like. That's what drove me to the city is that the hustle.
The hustle.
Here, yeah.
The actual hustle, for real. So, bro, what's on your playlist?
What happened?
What's on your playlist?
Whoa.
What you listening to right now?
Yeah, man, my playlist is very diverse. Like I said, I like pop, I like R&B, I like gospel, but I'm an 80s baby. I'm a late 80s baby. So I'm 90s mostly. You know, when you think about artists, man, it's so it's literally like 90s artists.
Okay.
Point blank period.
What's like a couple like 3 of them that you can name me? That's on the playlist that you gotta play. You know what I'm saying?
You know something? I'm big on like 90s R&B. So like I like Faith Evans. I'm big
Okay.
on like Donnell Jones.
Yeah, down there.
Who else? Biggie, definitely. So maybe not so much R&B. 90s in general. Definitely Biggie. Little Tupac. Really Bad Boy in general, I would say.
Bad
When I
Boys.
think about, I'm going through naming
Like the
all of
Diddy
them.
situation,
What happened?
like Diddy them Bad Boys.
Yeah. I know.
I was just about to say
But
shit.
please don't. Please don't.
I ain't gonna
But,
lie, Diddy, you know.
I'm talking 90s when.
Yeah, but he had, but to give him his credit though, he has had
Yeah.
a lot of artists. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
he done worked with a lot of different folks. Like
Absolutely.
he brought a lot of people out.
Absolutely.
A lot of folks, most definitely. So, bro, do you have a dream vacation?
A dream vacation. I want to go to DR.
Dominican
Yeah,
Republic.
Dominican Republic. Yeah. You know, like, I've been to Jamaica. I've been to a lot of different places. I love the Caribbean in general. But something about DR just is, like, attractive to me, and I want to go.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, anywhere like cross seas, or anywhere like you know.
I would love
somewhere.
to go to the UK.
UK,
Yeah. And, you know, lately I've been having an interest in, like, Australia.
Australia.
Yeah. Just because it's, like, literally on the opposite side. So I'm like, what is it? It's a different time zone. It's a different way of life. Like, when we're, like, up, I think they're sleeping and vice versa. So, like, how does that work? You know what I mean?
For sure. So, like, you know, what's a food that you always wanted to try, but you kind of like scared to try it?
Caviar.
Who?
Caviar.
Caviar.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
I wouldn't say I wanted to try it. I think it's just what's, like, the fascination behind it. You know what I mean? Like, why is everyone like, oh, this is so good, you got to try it? Because, I don't know.
Yeah,
Other than that, I'm not really that picky of an eater, so.
yeah, it's
Right,
like
so-
something that you hear like the upper echelons of the people of you know.
Yeah, like,
of
what is the
upscale.
big deal? Like, what does it taste like? What's the texture? Like, why is everyone so fascinated with it? You know?
Yeah, it's like black people with calamari.
Sure.
You feel like you get calamari, you got some money.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, lots of
Real
it, too.
shit. Lobster. Lobster tail shit.
Oh, yeah.
Regular though, but you know, people feel like they got some chicken when they got that.
Oh, yeah. Real
Most
talk.
definitely. For sure. Are you into sports, bro?
No, you know something? Earlier I was in an Uber and the gentleman was talking to me about that, but I'm a cancer survivor. When I was younger, I had cancer in my right knee. So I've never been able to play sports. I was diagnosed when I was like 10 and a half. So I've had like major reconstructive surgery from like my hip all the way down to my knee. So I've literally never been able to.
Was you like in a children's hospital? Like,
I was in a children's hospital.
okay. I mean, do you kind of remember those like experiences? You know what I'm saying?
man.
The things
You know
you was
what?
going through.
Just the other night, I had like a moment. It's like one of those recurring dreams, like a nightmare. Sometimes it just never. It will never go away. I feel like I can still see it sometimes. Like it's still happening sometimes, and that's like the weirdest part about it. 'Cause it's like you wanna. I'm like that happened in '96. We're in 2024, and so but it still plays in my head. Like I have to remind myself sometimes, like I'm here. You know what I mean? Yeah.
For sure. So I know like going through that as a kid, like I know it's probably put you in different places, like, you know what I'm saying, mental wise.
Oh yeah.
So like have you had to you know, deal with mental health or anything like that?
Yes, absolutely. That's actually a side effect, really, of chemotherapy. It's what they call chemo brain, and it's like a fog. So it's like ever so often, like my brain will like space out, and like it's still today, it still happens. That's why sometimes I'll be like, just trying to catch my thought. It's uncomfortable sometimes, but now that I've learned it and I know how to like control it, and I'm not afraid to talk about it, it makes it a little easier. But yeah,
For sure.
absolutely.
I mean, 2024, we all got to talk about it, bro, because there's
Oh, yeah.
something wrong with everybody, you feel me? There's something going on with everybody. You know what I'm saying? I can't say something wrong, but something going on with everybody, you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
For sure. And I'm a big advocate on, you know what I'm saying, mental health and everything like that, bro, because I actually, like, read a lot of books about it and everything.
Yeah.
And I be wanting to know, you know what I'm saying, why humans and certain people act the way they do. You know what I'm saying? Or why this person, you know, like, I'm just big on just studying, like, you know what I'm saying, the human culture for real.
Yeah, man, I've dealt with depression a lot. You know, honestly, I think so. I think more so as I've gotten older, as an adult, where it's like I actually pay attention to it. As a kid, it's just like, everything's an excuse. Like this is, this is just who I am. It's what I. But when you get to like a certain stage as an adult,
Yeah, you be like, why am I doing this?
Yeah, it's like, nah, this don't even make sense anymore. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, but then I'd be in my room like, literally for days, can't come out. I'm not going anywhere. Lights are off. Like just like literally no air conditioning. Like sweating. It'd just be weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because like as a kid, you would be like, this is just me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? This is me.
Yeah.
This is how I act. This is me.
Real talk.
For sure, though. Because, like, even kids got those cover-ups, like, you know what I'm saying, that they trying to hide what's going on, you know what I'm saying? But you got to kind of see through that type of stuff, you know?
Yeah.
Did you have somebody, you know what I'm saying, on your side that was helping you get through all these things?
You know what? No, really.
Okay, not a family member?
I've had family along the way.
Okay.
But I'm, I'm more of a vocal person, so especially now. Like I come from where it's kind of like you're not supposed to say a lot of things, you know what I mean? So I've had to kind of really deal with a lot of these things on my own. That's another reason why I'm here in Tampa and Florida, is because I have to focus on myself and take care of myself, and at this point I'm okay with that, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, most of the things that I've been through emotionally, I would say, and mentally, I pretty much dealt with by myself.
Okay. I mean, self-love is everything, though, bro. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So do you kind of like, do you kind of have those like, because a lot of men, they don't want to have those self-love days, self-care days, like how the women do. They go get pampered up, go to the spa, do all that stuff. Do you do those type of things?
I do. And you know what's crazy is growing up, I've always been like that. And it wasn't popular, especially for guys. You know what I'm saying? So I've always gotten kind of like picked on about it, to the point where when I got to a certain age, I stopped doing it. But then now all of a sudden it's like the thing to do, and I'm like, okay, well, let me get back into me. You know what I'm saying? But I think it's important. You know what I'm saying? Especially like myself. With so many different things that I've kind of championed through. Sometimes I just have to take a break away from everything. Like I turn my phone off, completely turn my phone off, like for 24 hours. And just kind of like live, go out to the movies, go out to dinner, literally by myself, which I'm cool with now. Yeah, but yeah. Okay.
So, bro, I got a scenario for you, bro. Sure. If you was, if you was in the bank and it was getting robbed or whatever, what would you do to like, would you try to stop the bank robber? Or, would you try to be the hero? Or would you just, abide by the law and do what they tell you to do?
You know something? First, let me say, I'm a huge fan of Set It Off.
Okay.
I love that movie. And so it just
they got a spin-off version of that right now?
What happened? For real?
Yeah, like it's called Robin. It's on Tubi.
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's called Robin. It's on Tubi,
man.
Though.
So I love that movie, man. So honestly, what would I do? I don't know, man. I think I'd be caught in the middle, to be honest with you. Because
I'm saying, it Set It Off. You couldn't have been playing in there with them.
No, that's what I mean. When I think about that, because I'm like, she knew, what I'm saying? She knew them. Those were her people, in a sense. So it's like, I don't know.
Yeah.
But at the end, she ended up doing it anyway. You know what I mean? So, I don't know.
Yeah. That's hard. And I ain't gonna lie, if Queen Latifah and all them came in there on me, but I'd have just gave it up. But because they were serious. They were dead ass serious.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. For sure. So, like, bro, are you on social media a lot?
I am.
As in,
but
like,
not as much as I should be.
That's what I'm finna say. As in, basically showing people your music. You know what I'm saying? Doing Trillers and jumping on platforms as mine. Just promoting your music, hitting the platforms and stuff.
Something. My brand collectively is bigger than music. Mm-hmm. So I've kind of I've spent certain time doing certain things. At this particular time right now, I'm focusing actually on my music. So that's why I'm like, I want to get out. I want to really, like you said, I want to take more accountability as an artist and really show up. You know what I mean? But I've been behind the scenes. So that's really, like I said, when I first started, I was writing. But now I have a publishing company. I publish books as well, and film production company as well. And then I just literally started my own record label. So I have a couple of things that I've been working on for the last 15 years. So now I'm like, I have music. I've done things, you know what I mean? But I'm like, I need to really kind of focus on my music. I focused
sure.
on books, and film is relatively new. But now,
how many books have you written?
I've written a total of 5 books.
5 books.
Yes.
What kind of books are you writing?
My first couple of books were poetry.
Poetry.
My first one and my second one is poetry. The third one is poetry and short stories, and then my fourth and fifth one are my actual memoir of my life.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, do you have a favorite poet?
I used to always say it was like Langston Hughes and like Maya Angelou and things like that. Ideally, yeah. I like raw like life poetry. You know what I mean? I'm more of a freehand writer, so I like to just really I like to rhyme. You know what I'm saying? But I like to really kind of get into like the hearts and the minds and the souls of like people. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So it just depends.
Have you ever performed your poetry though?
I have.
Like in one of them spots they do this?
Mm-hmm.
For real?
Yeah, I have. When I was in Rhode Island, that's what I mean. It was different. When I was in Rhode Island, I first started out as a poet.
Okay.
That's why I came out with the book. You know what I'm saying? Writing my poetry, and then I started going through the city and the state, performing, at different events and stuff. But at that particular time, my poetry was more religious based. That's before I made that like whole adjustment. So even now, I don't really even like talking about that particular book, but it's out there. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, it's part of my brand, but yeah.
Are you posting your books on like Amazon and stuff?
On Amazon, Barnes and Noble, yes.
Okay. Have you had them in any stores yet before?
Yes, I have. Well, I tried. There actually used to be a bookstore out here, a black-owned bookstore out in Tampa, and I actually was doing some work with them, but I think they like closed down. I like working with independent authors and artists and businesses and stuff. I like major stuff as well, but I think building an independent community is really important as well. Ownership, obviously, is really important, so I focus a lot on that.
Okay.
But yeah.
So you say you into making movies?
I am.
So what kind of movies you gonna make?
Well, last year.
You be like John Singleton, anybody like that?
What happened?
I said you gonna be like John Singleton, anybody like that?
You know what? That would be cool. That really would be cool. I actually like films like Boys in the Hood. You know what I'm saying? I like films like that. I don't know if I would go that deep because that's really deep. But it was real, especially for then. But for me, I'm focused on, like I said, I like real life stuff. So for me, for starters, my film production company, we're going to be focusing on documentaries, telling like real life stories of the people. I think that's really important. I think platforms like this, being able to actually talk to people and hear like the everyday story. We hear a lot of celebrity stories.
Celebrity documentaries or crime documentaries? What kind? Sports?
Just like.
Or just all around?
Yeah, all around. Like, what's your story? You know what I mean? I feel like we don't do that enough. I think it'd be cool to watch like someone's everyday life. Like, what are people really dealing with outside of what we're seeing even now in the media?
I love documentaries. Like, I used to watch a lot of crime documentaries, but then I found myself like kind of like, why am I watching this crazy ass shit?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because then it puts you like, the fuck am I, like, why am I watching this? You know what I mean?
See, I don't want to. That's the thing. I don't want to glorify anything. You know what I mean? I want to focus on like helping people kind of elevate their mind space. You know what I mean? Like, you can get through whatever's going on. Like, look at this person. You know what I'm saying? Now, if someone maybe got out of prison and starting their life over, they started a business, and you know what I mean? Like, or a barber, or whatever your story is. You know what I mean?
See, I like looking back into people's documentaries, like those type of documentaries, and I like present day. Like, if we gonna show like right now what's going on.
Yes, sir.
For sure.
Yes, sir.
So, like, if you could do one thing for your community and everything like that, like, if you was to reach the peaks and everything in the mountains with this music thing, like, what would be one of the things that you would do?
Can you rephrase that question?
What would be one of the things that you would do for your community if you was to, like, get signed and blow up and go crazy?
You know what? My biggest dream is, and I really, really want to do this, is have, like, and they kind of have it a little bit, but I would really want to expand on it, is, like, go through the city and, like, have, like, services for people that are homeless, like, daily.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Whether it's, like, haircuts, like, pulling up on them, like, barbershop, whatever, I think, because, like I said, I was homeless, so I really understand what that is more now than ever. And I think it's just important to take care of the people. That's something I really like. That's one of my major, like, I actually started writing a business plan for it. I want to be able to do that, especially out here. I wasn't homeless up north, so I never really knew what that was like. So out here, I've seen it on the bus stations. I've slept at some of the bus stations, you know what I'm saying? So I'm like, I just feel that would be so dope to just go through the city and just take care of the people, you know what I'm saying? Make sure they're, you know what I'm saying, cleaned up, got, you know what I'm saying, mouthwash, can brush their teeth, you know, simple stuff like that.
Okay. So, bro, can you tell us something that your fans might don't know about you? It could be like your favorite hobby or something,
Well,
or something that you're passionate
writing,
about.
But say again?
No, I said it could be your favorite hobby or it could be something that you're passionate about.
You know something? I'm passionate about, I guess I'll go on what you were talking about earlier about mental health. You know what I'm saying? I've always, now more than ever, I'm more focused on expressing myself and letting out a lot of these thoughts and the things I deal with. And as I've done that over the years, I've realized that I'm not alone in the situation, which helps because a lot of people think like, damn, it's just me. You know what I'm saying? I'm the only person dealing with X, Y, and Z. And then you realize, step out the door, and it's like there's billions of us, and a lot of us have similar stories, that type of thing. So I've learned how to, take my own personal trauma, if you will, and flip it into different things. So that's where the music comes from. That's where the books come from. And even, like I said, films. So my brand collectively is really about freedom of expression and kind of, freeing yourself, because that's really what this all started out for me as. My first book was just an attempt for me to liberate myself mentally. And then it just kept unwinding into so many things. And fast forward, it's crazy because this year is actually 15 years. I released my first book in 2009.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
Bro. Congrats.
Thank you.
For sure. So, bro, like, you from one of those, states that politics play a big role in, you know what I'm saying, as in, like who the president is going to be and all that type of stuff. Like, you voting? Election is right around the corner.
Something, I'm really not into politics.
For sure?
Yeah.
So you never voted?
No.
Mm.
I've thought about it. I've given it consideration. And I know how important it is. But I'll be honest with you, I get really frustrated with, I'm more of a solution-based person. Like I said, like finding, like the documentaries, for example, like we want to help people. We want to, figure out if we know the problems. But I just feel like every 4 years we're talking about the same problem, and there's really not much solution happening. So it's like, you kind of like hype up the people, we get them all worked up, and then the moment comes, everyone's in the polls, they're going crazy, the country's going wild, people are disagreeing, they're arguing, there's a lot of debating, and this and this and that, all for the next 4 years to be quite similar than they were the last 4 years.
Yeah, and it's so crazy because, like, I definitely get that, and it's so crazy because when you look across the United States as a whole, everybody's going through. All us want different things, you know what I'm saying? Different parts of the America, like they fighting for this and we fighting for this down here. Like it's basically like, excuse me, but it's unfair in different parts of the America everywhere. So it's like certain of us fighting for this and certain of us fighting for this. Like, I don't know. I don't really know how everything's gonna come together. Though.
Yeah, and like I said, I feel like I know it's important, but like I said, I feel like let's actually sit down and come up with a plan that actually works for people. Like, and I don't think it's as difficult as people make it. I really don't. I think that it's important to respect all aspects of it, but I don't think it's as complicated as it seems to be all of the time.
Yeah.
And that, for me, like I said, I'm a solution-based person, so I'm like, it's really not hard to figure out how to do certain things, to forgive certain things, to get certain debts out of the way, da-da-da-da. I'm sure I know there's a process. I know that's really important. But let's do it. You know what I mean?
Most definitely. And speaking on process, man, what's next for you?
I am, like I said, I have my brand is much bigger than, I hate saying that because I want to sound like arrogant and saying that, but it's much bigger than music. And so I have a lot. I've published authors. I have clients. I have a management company. So I do a lot of different things. And so right now I'm in the process of tying my brand together.
Okay.
Like I said, we're filming a documentary. I'm in the process of that now, pre-production of filming my documentary, which I'm really excited about. And so now, like I said, I want to introduce myself the way that I feel like I should. Like I owe that to people that I want to like hear my story and stuff like that, you know. And I like to do the work. So I'm not coming in like, oh, you know what I mean? Like I know I have a brand though, you know what I mean? And I do have, you know, a name that I've built, but I still feel like there's work to be done. So I don't feel like I'm like there yet. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. So like if I wanted to write a book or come up with something like that, though, could I contact you?
Yeah, you know something? I'm glad you mentioned that. So I'm actually into project management. So we do a lot of that. I publish children's authors. I publish poets. I've just recently published a memoir about a month ago. I have a couple of projects I'm working on right now for a couple of clients as well. But yeah, I'm always looking. You know something? I have clients in a lot of places and not as many here. And that bothers me because I'm like, man, I know there's so many stories out here. I've seen people, you know what I'm saying? Like, I know there's artists out here that are really dope. And I've thought about that too, like getting artists that are just doing music. Music is obviously dope, but let's be honest, we all know music isn't selling. You know what I'm saying? Like that. Books are different. You know what I'm saying? Books is a selling point. You know what I mean? Because essentially it's merch for an artist. You know what I'm saying? For a rapper, a singer, or whatever. So if you transfer it that way, it's a product that you can actually sell. So I would love to work with, and aside from obviously the financial aspect of it, you know, being able to express yourself in a different way, you know, tell your story from a different point of view. So yeah, absolutely.
For sure. So my last question to you, man, before we get off the podcast, if you know what I'm saying, if you can have a dream collab or a dream feature, who would it be with?
Oh, I got a couple. I would like to work with Drake.
Okay.
Crazy. I know it's the order I'm saying this, but I would like to work with Kendrick. I'd like to work with Nicki, for sure. And if I could, like, just because, like I said, I did grow up listening to gospel, and I've just been thinking about this lately, I feel like I probably would work with, like, maybe Fred Hammond and Kirk Franklin. That'd be cool.
The new Kirk?
That's tough. Probably not the new Kirk, because like I said, well, actually, you know what? I don't know. It kind of depends. Because I'm just thinking about fusing like gospel and rap together, like actually having like a gospel song and putting like a rap verse on it.
You ain't never used to listen to gospel rap?
What happened?
You never used to listen to like gospel rap?
You know something? It used to always bother me. That's still to this day.
Yeah.
I just never. I listened to it a couple of times, but I just always felt like, and I don't want to sound disrespectful to any gospel rappers, but like I always just found like it always kind of resembled what they call secular rap too much, where it doesn't have its own identity. Like gospel is not R&B. Gospel is not soul, but gospel rap is very much like regular rap. So I just was like, it doesn't even have its own. Like I'm listening to rappers that kind of sound like Biggie. Like it just doesn't sound right to me. You know what I mean? Like if it has its own identity, I get the influence, but it's like if you're trying to be a lane by yourself, then it should be that. I'm trying to carefully pick my words. I don't want to offend any like gospel rappers, but that's just my opinion.
No, I definitely understand that.
Yes, sir.
For sure. So man, let them know where they can follow you and everything before we get.
You can follow me on Instagram. At I am Jerrell Grimes. Same on. I'm just recently joined TikTok. I'm figuring out how to do that.
Okay.
Hopefully, my plan is really to get marketing and someone up to do that for me because it's just not my thing. But I'm on Facebook, Instagram. I'm building my YouTube channel, and I'm also on X now. You know, I've been on Twitter, but it's X now. Yeah.
So they always. I mean, when people say X now, you just think of like some other shit.
Yeah. Yep.
Sure,
and then my website, JerrellGrimes.com.
Okay.
Yes,
We definitely appreciate you for, stopping by the podcast
Thanks
today,
for having
man. Definitely appreciate you for coming in. We are Florida Podcast, man. It's your boy BL Ratchet, tapping in and tapping out, man. We got another one. For sure. Definitely appreciate